Welcome to The Explainer. Have you ever felt like your success was just pure luck? Well, today we're diving into the story of a businessman who went from making and losing millions to mastering an ancient Chinese art of strategic forecasting. But here's the twist. He didn't just learn it. He had to rebuild it from the ground up. So our story doesn't start in ancient China. It starts right in the middle of the modern business world. It's about a man who, even with all his success, felt like he was strapped into a relentless roller coaster, one with extreme highs and absolutely crushing lows.
And that wasn't an exaggeration. For over 30 years, that was his reality. He would build these incredible successes only to see it all come crashing down, again and again, in both his business and his personal life. You can imagine he was left exhausted, jaded, and just looking for a way off the ride.
Now, he was a guy who believed that hard work was everything. But when he actually looked back, the numbers told a different story. A startling one, actually. His decision-making was only accurate about 40% of the time. So what on earth could possibly double his success rate to an incredible 80%? You know, the big change didn't come from some business guru or a fancy seminar. Nope. It came from a place he was deeply skeptical of, a place he never ever would have looked.
He trusted in one thing and one thing only, his own effort. So when people convinced him to try a consultation, he went in with absolutely zero expectations. It was really more about curiosity than any kind of real belief.
3 hours. That's it. That's all the time it took for his entire perception of the world to get completely shattered.
The master he was seeing, he started describing his life, his past, his present, his potential future, with this crazy pinpoint accuracy. And we're talking about details he had never shared with a single soul. That moment right there was the catalyst. It just demolished his skepticism and opened his mind to a whole new world. So he dives headfirst into learning this art, called Qi Men Dun Jia, or QMDJ for short. And it works. His life and his business totally transformed for the better. But then, he hit a wall, a huge one. A fundamental flaw in the very system he was using. See, after using QMDJ to turn his own life around, he started helping other people, doing readings and giving them guidance. And at first, things were going great. But then, his predictions started to miss the mark. And this wasn't just a one-off thing. More and more of his clients started telling him his predictions were inaccurate. He was baffled. I mean, he was following the method he'd learned perfectly. So how could the results be so wrong? After digging and digging, he uncovered a shocking truth. The system that he and so many others were taught was just fundamentally flawed. It was only about 60 to 70% accurate. And the craziest part? That very first birth chart reading he got, the one that blew his mind and started this whole journey, was itself wrong. The entire foundation of his new life was built on bad information. So what do you do when you realize the entire foundation is rotten? He made a pretty drastic decision. If no one out there could teach him the right way, he was going to have to teach himself, even if it meant starting completely over from scratch. He went searching for answers, right? He sought out masters in China and Taiwan, only to find the whole industry was confusing and way too commercialized. So he said, forget it. He went back to the absolute basics. He started doing his own research, developing new theories, and testing them relentlessly. He was on a mission to solve a core problem that most practitioners didn't even know existed. And the result of all that painstaking work? It was astounding. He tested his new, refined system on volunteers and clients, and his accuracy just skyrocketed from a shaky 60% to a consistent 90%, sometimes even higher. He had actually done it. He'd fixed it. Okay, so we've heard the story. But what is this powerful tool that he had to basically rebuild from the ground up? Let's break down what Qi Men Dun Jia is really all about. At its heart, QMDOJ is a super complex system for understanding the energies of time and space. Think of it less like a crystal ball and more like a cosmic weather report. It helps you navigate life's biggest decisions by knowing exactly when to act and, just as important, when to wait. The name itself, Qi Men Dun Jia, is really cool. It translates to mystical doors hiding the Jia. Now that sounds complicated, but it comes from ancient military strategy. It was a system for protecting the most valuable asset, the general, by navigating through these unseen doors or opportunities on the battlefield to get a tactical advantage. For us, it's about finding the path of least resistance to our goals. And look, this isn't some new age trend. This is an ancient science with roots going back 5,000 years.
For centuries, it was a closely guarded secret of the imperial court. They used it to plan battles and run the entire empire. It was considered so powerful that if a commoner was caught using it, the punishment was death. Seriously.
Today, the applications are incredibly practical. Divination can forecast the likely outcome of a business deal. Destiny reading is like a personal SWOT analysis, showing you your innate strengths and weaknesses. Date selection helps you pick the perfect time to launch a product or even get married. And Feng Shui audits analyze how your environment is actually helping or hurting your success.
So now we kind of get the what and the how. Let's focus on the why. Why does this ancient art even matter in our fast-paced modern world?
This isn't about magic or religion. Not at all. It's a tool based on ancient calculations and patterns. The whole idea is to align your actions with the most favorable energies and timing, which dramatically increases your probability of success. It's all about playing the odds in your favor.
QMDJ offers a kind of roadmap from navigating this chaotic world, helping you shift from a life of random chance to one of deliberate strategy. It's a tool for empowerment, giving you the information to make better, more informed decisions. So the final question is this: if you knew the best time to act, what would you dare to achieve?